Hello again everyone, Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be giving you my Sagittarius January 2019 horoscope forecast, and yes, this does apply and pertain to the Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. Anyway people, first thing up is, as far as January goes, the Sun will be in Capricorn from the 1st until the 21st, so the second house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time, there could be a strong concentration of energy, focus, and attention on monetary matters, finances, values, resources, possessions, one's self-worth, how you feel about yourself, your self-esteem, and generating income. And given this is Capricorn energy, this may be done with a lot of Capricorn orthodox energy, very methodical, with a lot of conventionality, working within the parameters, not going outside really that, let's say, the box, but making sure you're following the rules and regulations. Done very responsibly with a lot of consistency and seriousness, but yet intransigence as well. And also could be done in a very regimented way with a lot of rigidity. Now, on the negative side, it could be done with a lot of pessimism as well, and you don't want to focus on just all the negative or on as far as any aspects of your finances. It's time to try to be a little more positive. It's a little hard with Capricorn energy, but still, this might also shine the light, so to speak, on a Capricorn type item, such as something with the government or some business or political item, perhaps something connected with accounting, if you have any kind of special accounting tool or device or something that enables you to do your accounting better, then it could be something as well. It might shine the light on. Anyway, next thing up. As far as January goes, the Sun will be in Aquarius from the 21st until the 31st, so the third house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time, there could be a strong concentration of energy, focus, and attention on communications, one's short journeys, siblings, cousins, neighbors, transportation, one's early education, thinking. Given this is Aquarius energy, this may be done with a lot of Aquarius type unorthodox energy, unconventional, going outside that box, so to speak, but yet it could be somewhat erratic and sporadic, be unusual. Might be a time where you come up with a lot of innovative and unusual type ideas at this point in time, because Aquarius energy can be very innovative and genius as well. This third house energy may also be done a lot of selflessness, and especially perhaps in terms of your short journeys, your errands that you may do for others, a lot of humanitarianism and a lot of consideration as well. So it's a lot of focus perhaps on equal give and take in communication, not talking over others. So anyway, but also this energy may be done very future oriented and progressive as well. So anyway, well, the next thing up is there will be a new moon solar eclipse in Capricorn on January 5th. So the second house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. And anyway, as some of you may know, some of you may not know, well, new moon, solar eclipse in astrology is like a new moon, but more amplified and intensified. It could be more sustained in its impact, more prodigious. And sometimes it could even have life-altering implications. This could be something that could really be a good, a period maybe of a turning point in one's life. It could be about something very significant. Given this is Capricorn energy, this could be, it could simply be a new Capricorn type position in terms of generating income. It could be something with the government, business, accounting, even computer programming, or something with information technology, dentistry. It could timekeeping, if that actually is a position. Also, or it could just be something where you simply become very, where it's a new period of being more responsible with your finances, being more consistent, a turning point where you decide to be more consistent in your money-making process, and being, and even if it's something regimented or even mundane work, it could be that time where you put your foot down and just decide to do this. And also another way this may manifest as well, this could be about I mean, when you're talking about eclipses in astrology, they could be about departures of people. This could be about somebody that departs that might have been overly pessimistic or negative or had a very limiting effect on your self-esteem. It could have been somebody that was causing some despondency, making you feel somewhat melancholy, or just making you think negatively more about yourself that might take off and leave. And this also could be at a time where you might become just more cognizant, again, going back to maybe doing something Capricorn related in terms of making money, or being, or really that just maybe there were some matters with your self-esteem or self-worth that was just really, it was connected, like in most cases, I would say, right, with something just negative that maybe just, maybe could have just been emphasizing the negative, or there might have been something that was depressing that was affecting you in terms of how you felt about maybe yourself, perhaps. And also a period where you really, Capricorn energy can also be about discipline. It could also be about, this could be about a new period, perhaps not being disciplined with your finances, but a new period, or maybe a Capricorn person, a sun, Capricorn sun, moon, or ascendant even might figure very prominently in terms of maybe you making money perhaps at this time in your possessions, your resources. So anyway, next thing up. There will be a full moon lunar eclipse in Leo on January 21st, so the 9th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time, in some cases, this could be about, this could manifest perhaps in a dramatic departure of an in-law or a grandchild. And also, again, and I want to go back again, rewind to, again, the eclipse is like a solar eclipse. I mean, lunar eclipse actually is a regular full moon, but its impact can be very amplified and intensified, and it can be something where it could be something that will give you very life-sustained results, or something that could happen that could be very prodigious. It could be a very significant, or something that's life-altering could take place because of this. So anyway, and its impact can be stronger than a regular full moon. Now, again, this could be about perhaps a dramatic departure of an in-law or a grandchild. It may manifest perhaps in simply becoming more cognizant and having a realization about being more extroverted and gregarious with people that are in a religious congregation you might be in, or a college, university, and by doing so it might lead to bigger and better things. Or maybe you come to the realization that you could do something Leo, like that could be a higher education course. It could be something with creativity, whether it's creative writing or something with the entertainment or acting, something where maybe working with children. It could be doing something with cardiology, anything that could be Leo related. And also too, this could be a time where maybe something Leo like that was published might come to a completion or culmination, and it could really, given that this is a lunar eclipse, it might really pay very big dividends if you're somebody that is a writer and you are publishing frequently. And it could be something that could be Leo related, such as something with sports, something with cardiology, something connected with the heart, maybe just about having heart in something. It could be something connected with children or entertainment or the arts, or with creativity, perhaps. Now, or even maybe something with like a children's book, perhaps, because Leo can be associated with children. Now, also, too, it might be the fact that you might have a realization or unveiling to yourself that you might have to be a little extravagant in terms of actually being able to publish, taking money to make money, perhaps. And also, too, this could be a time where, when you're talking about full moons in astrology, and lunar eclipse will be more intensified, of course, given that that's what it is. This could be a time, perhaps, when you might become really exceptionally tired, full, exasperated, perhaps, and maybe an overly overbearing, egotistical, flamboyant, overly cocksure, perhaps. It could be an in-law, a grandchild, someone you may know in a religious congregation. It could be somebody that was very or someone you know that's very arrogant regarding their philosophies. And this could be something where you just really have had enough, and it could be that departure, perhaps, of that person, perhaps in your life scheme. So anyway, well, next thing up, Mercury will be as far as at this time. Well, first, hold on a moment, people. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Anyway, I'm back. As far as January goes, Mercury will be in Sagittarius from the 1st until the 5th, so the first house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. Well, at this time, you might simply be more loquacious, more voluble than usual. You'll be talking about a lot about Sagittarius-related things. It could be talking a lot about sports, athletics, the law, philosophy, religion, and also being more talkative and loquacious on a first impression. You may be thinking more optimistically and positively about yourself at this time, more so than usual. And also, again, at Mercury, as I've said in previous videos, Mercury can be more than just about communication. They could be about siblings as well. And it could be Sagittarius siblings. It could be Sagittarius Sun, Moon, or Ascendant people, or simply ones that embody Sagittarius characteristics. Might figure very prominently in your outlook on life, your appearance, your new beginnings at this time. It could also be thinking very optimistically, exuberantly, and enthusiastically about new beginnings, and also perhaps more philosophical discussions, perhaps with people that you may have known that were prominent in your early childhood. Anyway, next thing up. Well, as far as January goes, Mercury will be in Capricorn from the 5th until the 24th, so the second house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time, there might be a lot of introspective thinking at this time regarding your self-esteem and self-worth. It could be where you might be mentally and very methodically making formulating a plan, perhaps to increase your income, and also perhaps in terms of just really maybe your self-esteem and self-worth as well. And also this may manifest perhaps in very consistent thinking regarding your finances, your resources, your possessions at this time. And also, again, this could be about Capricorn siblings. They could be Capricorn Sun, Moon, or Ascendant people, or simply ones that embody Capricorn characteristics might factor in strongly in how you feel about yourself. It could be about income generated, monetary matters in general, and also avoid, at this time, avoid being overly pessimistic in thought regarding your finances at this time and looking at only the negative aspects in this and becoming overly despondent or melancholy regarding these things. And also, too, this may manifest perhaps in using the hands to make money. I mean, Mercury is connected with the hands as well. Could be using the hands to make money and doing something Capricorn related, such as something with dentistry or information technology, perhaps. So, anyway, next thing up. As far as January goes, Mercury will be in Aquarius from the 24th until the 31st. So the third house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, you may find yourself talking about manifold new ideas and concepts. It could be, again, going back to the fact that Mercury can also be about siblings. This could be about Aquarius siblings. It could be Aquarius, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant people, or simply ones that embody Aquarius-like characteristics. Might figure prominently in your communications at this time, activities with neighbors, short journeys. This could also be about very spontaneous and extemporaneous, unpredictable conversations and communications, perhaps with people from your early education. It could be neighbors, siblings, cousins, and also a lot of thinking about your future as well, as far as maybe the neighborhood you might be in, about really in your, this might come out in your communications as well. And also it could be as well using dexterity, doing something Aquarius related, such as matters in short journeys, like such as maybe wiring alarm in a vehicle, because Aquarius could be connected with electronics, computers, and of course cars. I believe can be associated with the third house because we're talking about the third house, short journeys, transportation. Anyway, next thing up. Well, Venus will be in Scorpio as far as January goes, from the 1st until the 7th. So the 12th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time, well, this could be about very, in some cases, surreptitious clandestine affairs. It could be a clandestine affair with a Scorpio sun, moon, or ascendant, or simply one that embodies Scorpio-like characteristics. And also, too, you could really be, this may manifest perhaps in expressing love with a lot of emotional intensity and a lot of passion very privately. It could be about a Scorpio relationship that you might keep hidden, that you're very private about. And also, this may manifest in valuing secrecy in private matters, valuing transformation of lives, and enjoying maybe helping transform the lives of those less fortunate than yourself, such as the impoverished, the oppressed, the homeless, or the hungry. Now, also, this could also be about enjoying using power and really an indomitable spirit to overcome limitations and restrictions, and even guile to weed out hidden adversaries. And also, it could be about money, or maybe it could be a fixation with some kind of money. It could be your own undoing, or maybe spending money on Scorpio-related things. Really could be the self-undoing if you're overly extravagant on Scorpio-related things, such as matters with locksmithing, the occult, astrology, supernatural, anything where in some kind of investigative thing, something that might, it could wind up being your self-undoing, such as maybe being overly extravagant and running out of money in the process. And also another way this may manifest is perhaps the enjoyment, perhaps, in valuing using going through subterfuge and superficiality to weed out people that might be your hidden enemies or adversaries. So anyway, next thing up. Well, as far as January goes, Venus will be in Sagittarius from the 7th until the 31st. So the first house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, this could be about perhaps spending money on yourself, perhaps for your appearance, perhaps a more athletic or sporty look. It could be getting outdoor wear or something Sagittarius related, perhaps appearing more attractive than usual, or at least attempting to be at this time. This could also manifest perhaps in the enjoyment of and love of a Sagittarius like new beginning, such as something connected with sports, philosophy, religion. Even sports could be even archery, or you could even be doing something like target practicing or darts, and also maybe even exploration, camping, or publishing. Now, at this time as well, you might come into contact maybe with a Sagittarius love or romantic partner. It could be a Sagittarius sun, moon, or ascendant, or simply one that embodies Sagittarius characteristics. And also about self-love, loving yourself with a lot of exuberance and enthusiasm at this point in time, and also valuing being that perpetual learner, the incorrigible optimist, being positive and optimistic. And this could be also being seen very well on a first impression. So anyway, next thing up. As far as January goes, Mars will be in Aries in January, and the 5th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time, well, the situation perhaps with children and romantic partners might be a little bit more contentious and acrimonious than usual. It could be about incorporating a lot of aggressive and assertive energy into your hobbies, creative endeavors, things connected with fun, amusement, and enjoyment. It could be doing something, putting a lot of energy and vitality into Aries type hobbies and things of amusement or enjoyment. It could be things like karate, judo, boxing, wrestling, even welding, maybe in playing some games that are about combat, like the old Atari game Combat, anything that could be Aries related. Now, also at this time, it could be about having some kind of sexual interlude or liaison with an Aries sun, moon, or ascendant at this time. Also, sadly, this could be about some easy provocation in matters. It could be over matters with lovers, with children, and also a lot of impulsive perhaps energy, impetuous energy, perhaps in gambling or speculation. So just be careful at this time. So anyway, next thing up. Well, Jupiter will be in Sagittarius still, so the first house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. Hold on a moment, people. Sorry about that, I'm back. Anyway, well, Jupiter again will be in Sagittarius. So at this time, the first house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. Now, I've talked about previously how Jupiter can be very benign and benevolent, but it can also be very paradoxical. It could have a tendency to enlarge and expand. In some cases, this could very well expand and enlarge the waistline, and it would be greater propensity to gain weight during this time, especially if this is actually hitting one's ascendant in one's natal chart. It's in one's actual first house. Now, if it's hitting the moon, this might expand and enlarge. Well, actually, it might actually, at this time, it could enlarge stomach issues, problems with the stomach, so be careful. But also, I mean, if it's hitting the moon, it could be about very enlarging, very exuberant, enthusiastic type emotions at this time and ebullient feelings. This could also be at a time, too, where you might even be come across as even more jocular and jovial on a first impression, more so than usual. And really, at this time as well, this could be very fortuitous for Sagittarius new beginnings, such as something with sports, with philosophy, religion, advertising, publishing, something connected with traveling, something with the traveling type fields. It could even be working as a travel agent or a cruise director or a pilot, anything Sagittarius related. So anyway, and also too, it could be very fortuitous for perhaps it could be rekindling something with a Sagittarius person you may have known from your early childhood, or it could simply be it could be a Sagittarius Sun, Moon, or Ascendant person, or simply one that embodies Sagittarius-like characteristics. Anyway, next thing up, Saturn will still be in Capricorn, so the second house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, well, you might be feeling at this time, this could be some limitations and restrictions in connection with your self-worth, your self-esteem, your finances at this time. But it could also be about getting structure and discipline in monetary matters as well at this time as well. And also, you might find yourself where you might be having to take care of somebody that might maybe at your place that you know well, where you generate income at. It could be somebody that's very debilitated or sickly. It could be something Capricorn related, such as something with the knees, the bones, or the joints, and making you feel somewhat despondent and melancholy. And also too, this could be a time too where you could be where an older people or even the father might figure more prominently in how you feel about yourself and your possessions, your resources at this particular point in time. And whether it's actually good or bad, a lot can depend, of course, on the aspects this makes to other points in your chart. This is actually, say, if it's making a positive aspect, a sextile or trine to your natal Jupiter, could actually have a beneficial effect. But if let's say if it makes an adverse effect to your natal Jupiter, then it could be going the other way, more to your detriment. But anyway, and also too, given, I mean, this could also be a time where you might be going through some limitations with perhaps your possessions and resources, but also about taking responsibility in second house matters as well. Anyway, next thing up, Uranus will be in Aries still. So at this time, the fifth house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, this could be manifest perhaps in maybe some unusual type of hobbies and things that might be creative or something that you enjoy or that's fun. Not saying could be doing something like using a rocket jetpack perhaps, but it could also manifest in doing something Uranus-like, as something that could be a creative endeavor or a hobby perhaps, or something you enjoy. It could be something with aerospace, astrology, astronomy, computers, or electronics. Also could manifest perhaps in Aries friendships, might figure more prominently, perhaps in matters with your children. It could be your romantic life. It may even be maybe in things something of a speculative nature as well. They might be trying to help you out in terms of maybe investments at this time as well. Could also manifest perhaps in rather unpredictable, acrimonious behavior perhaps at this time from children, from lovers, from people that you might share some kind of hobby or creative endeavor with. And also remember, the fifth house is about personal popularity, so you might be going through some fluctuations at this time, as Uranus energy could be erratic and sporadic. Anyway, next thing up, Neptune will still be in Pisces, so the fourth house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time, well, at this time you might be going through, you might be feeling somewhat nebulous and unclear about who you are at the core. Be careful in real estate deals at this time. Be very prudent, because Neptune energy could be about not seeing the details very clearly. Also be very prudent regarding perhaps accidental, maybe chemical assimilation in the home, or some flooding or a gas leak perhaps. You might find that your family and home life might be dissipating or dissolving, and maybe even your roots and even traditions might be a little bit unclear and nebulous at this time. So anyway, but at the same time, on a positive end, this could manifest perhaps in doing something Neptune related out of your home. It could be something with the metaphysical, which could include astrology, photography, chemistry, something with poetry, dancing, perhaps anything that could be Neptune related. It could be doing something with fantasy, such as fictional fantasy writing. So anyway, well, last but not least, Pluto will be in Capricorn, so the second house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, this may manifest perhaps, I mean, I know a lot of you don't want me to say the dreaded D word, but you know I'm going to anyway. This could manifest perhaps in the actual literal death, perhaps of somebody that might have been prominent, your self-esteem, your self-worth, or it could be someone that you knew well at a place you generated income at. It could also be, in some cases, going through some transformation in terms of the way you generate income, or the obliteration of finances even in some cases. But remember that when we're talking about Pluto, it could also be about regeneration and rebirth. So if something happens with your money situation, it could very well be revived. Or if you're going through a transformation in terms of how you generate money, I mean, obviously, when you're talking about transformation, it means you can go from doing one thing and then doing something else. Also, too, you might feel at this time that your self-worth and self-esteem may be destroyed or obliterated, but again, we go back to the regeneration and rebirth thing. But also guard against overly obsessive or compulsive issues over your possessions, over your money, being overly controlling at this point in time. You also might go through a transformation of your values at this time. Your value system might be changing very strongly at this point in time, or you may be making money perhaps doing something Pluto related, such as something with astrology, the occult, supernatural. It could be something connected with the death field, such as working as a coroner, or something with embalming. So anything that could be Pluto related, even surgery perhaps, if it's something that you would train for, or should say go to school for some time, this could be that time where you might actually do something with that. So anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for my Sagittarius January 2019 horoscope forecast. Stay tuned next time, where I'm going to be talking to you about some of my humorous astrological moments. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone, because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart, and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.